Here, in an eloquent remembrance, are the words of Del Tomkiel, one of the co-founders of the Masters School. Many people believe in miracles, but not all have the opportunity to participate in one. It has been my privilege to experience the wonder not only of watching, but also of being immersed in the awesome work of God as the Masters School has emerged step by step from an idea to a reality. It began for me when I joined a group called the Center for Renewal at the Covenant Presbyterian Church, affectionately known as the Barn. The intent of the group was to establish several ministries to meet the needs of the people. Among the ministries was to be a Christian school. As months went on, it became obvious that the only Center for Renewal ministry whose time had come was a school. Throughout the fall, winter, and spring of 1969 and 70, a group of us met in West Hartford at the home of Art and Ginny Miller and discussed the many aspects of starting a Christian school. I expected that our time of preparation would be 2 years at least, so it came as a startling surprise when in May, the fall of 1970 was assumed to be the time for opening the school. I admit to some doubt about the possibility of having this happen since we had no building, no teachers, no materials, no curriculum, and no money. One of the members of the committee suggested that we make finding a building the sign that we should move ahead. Within a week, we saw an item in the newspaper stating that Simsbury planned to close South School off Hop Meadow Street. We negotiated with the town and were able to rent the building reasonably. It was ideally suited for our purposes since it had 2 floors, a large kindergarten room, and a gym. The next major decision was the appointment of a headmaster. We agreed unanimously that Ralph Matson, a teacher of the year from Farmington and a man of great vision, should serve as the founding head. We were able to receive an immediate response from him, which was an affirmative one. Now that the building was available and a headmaster had been appointed, we had to move quickly to find students and teachers. One by one, they came. September of 1970 came, and the school opened. It was a joyful day for students, staff, and parents. All of us shared the awesome realization that a miracle was in process. We had the staff we needed and 52 students in kindergarten through grade 3 and in grades 8 and 9. At that time, we intended to move up a grade at a time until we reached a kindergarten through grade 12 program. Things moved more rapidly than we anticipated. Requests came in for the establishment of the rest of the grades. We soon became K through 12. The name Center for Renewal was changed officially to the Masters School. Naming the school had been a subject of considerable discussion. We all knew that it must reflect our mission. One by one, suggested names were set aside until the Masters School was proposed. All recognized its rightness, since Jesus Christ was to be the center, truly the master of the school. The early days of the school were some of the most exciting I have ever experienced. We had a common goal, and reaching it depended on our acknowledging our call, using all of our gifts, being totally accountable, and involving ourselves in all aspects of the Masters School. Alumni who were students at the time and faculty members recall those days with some nostalgia. Their remembrances are of freedom, newness, and excited expectation. One of the alumni recounted his experience as that of shedding all fear of school and for the first time wanting to attend and eagerly awaiting what each day would hold. Another spoke vividly of the all-school gatherings, which were frequent and spontaneous. The gym auditorium was often filled with people of all ages singing or praying for one another and for the needs of the school. We had little money for materials and equipment, so we found creative ways to teach effectively with what we had. We were grateful for every donation which could be used to enhance the program. We were open about our gratitude to people and to the Lord. The school had been in existence only 2 years when the enrollment grew to a point where more space was needed. Big changes were about to occur. The Board of Trustees decided to take another step in faith and build a new lower school building in the meadow behind the barn. This would be the home of the lower school. However, kindergarten would join the early childhood center located in the church. When the building was complete, students and teachers celebrated together as we carried our materials and equipment to our rooms. It was truly a family time. The problem of the lower school was solved with the new building, but relocation of the middle and upper schools was more difficult. Limited options were narrowed to one. Near the border of Avon, there was an old Nike missile site which we could rent. The Army buildings were still there, as bleak and as bare as it was possible to be. Once more, we sought God's wisdom, and it led us to buy rather than rent the site. Before school opened in the fall, great things were happening. Parents, students, teachers set to work to transform the ugly buildings into something that would serve as our home for grades 7 through 12. I remember the excitement and celebratory spirit as we painted doors, cleaned, and made structural changes. When we were finished, the site had become ours. A small building situated on the entrance driveway was painted with the word "Welcome" in many different languages. And indeed, there was a welcoming spirit throughout the complex. We had been in existence 6 years when we applied for our initial accreditation with New England's Association of Schools and Colleges. I marvel at the grace that was allowed us to receive a 10-year full accreditation in 1976. In 1979, Ralph Matson decided to make a career change, and the search for our new headmaster began. It wasn't until we shared once more a feeling of excited unanimity that the board chose Dr. J. Stanley Matson, Ralph's brother, as the right person to carry on the vision of the founding committee. Stan had served on the Board of Trustees and had proven himself to be a dynamic man of action who dared to take steps in faith, even those which were considered risky by others. A major testing of Stan's daring came during the first year as headmaster, when we looked again at something which had been on our hearts for a long time. A 225-acre tract of land on Westledge Road had become available when the Westledge School closed its doors. We had looked longingly at it, but had considered it beyond our reach. John Hunn, then pastor of the barn, had long ago envisioned the master's school on the property. Although that vision was exciting to us, we had put it aside as circumstances appeared to make its happening remote, if not impossible. Eventually, the banks took over the property and offered it for sale. No buyer came forward, so after some time, Stan encouraged the Board of Trustees to explore options with the bank. This exploration led to the possibility of a 3-year lease with an option to purchase in the first year. Trustees decided to visit the property and reach a decision about entering into such an agreement. The day that we came upon the campus, it was raining and cold. We met in the Great Hall under conditions that were hardly conducive to enthusiastic response. The rain was dripping through the roof, and the building had a clammy mustiness about it. Under other circumstances, that would have made us all but want to escape. We were, however, there for a purpose. So we joined hands and prayed for guidance. I recall a moment when, for me, assurance came. As our prayer time ended, we had obviously all received the same message. I'll never forget that scene with the trustees literally dancing with unrestrained joy. It was difficult in some ways for the lower school to leave the place we had enjoyed so much and to become part of the larger community, but we saw it as a positive move for the unity of the school. It was good to be together and work towards common goals. We shared some wonderful experiences as we grew in size and in our positive image throughout the area. In 1983, Stan resigned as headmaster. We were involved again in finding the right person to head the school. Our search led us through many channels. After much prayer, soul searching, and consideration, Don Steele came to us as our third headmaster. We were overwhelmed with gratitude for the gift God had given to us. Don's commitment to faith, his obedience to the will of God, his deep devotion to his family, his love for children, and his passion for top quality Christian education were beyond our highest hopes. Through the years, we saw God at work. From its simple beginnings, our library grew into a fine, specially designed facility that served the whole school. Our gym, which was built in 1989, was an outcome of a capital fund drive. In 1997, the building that connects the gymnasium and the locker rooms was constructed. And in 2000, the dining hall was built. Before that time, the kitchen and lunchroom were located in the Great Hall. Construction of the lower school was completed in 2007, and in 2009, the preschool, early kindergarten, and kindergarten moved from their off-site locations to the new lower school building. All classes from preschool through grade 12 were now united on one campus. The vision and heart purpose of the Master School has remained through faculty and staff changes, many hundreds of students, and campus modifications. The Master's School continues to be a community where parents, faculty, staff, and students all contribute to the daily life and to the growth of the school. Each year, the senior class makes a gift to enhance the property or the program of the school. Alumni return and share their reflections on the impact the school has had on their lives. Their loyalty and love for the teachers who taught and inspired them are clear. Many alumni have been and are now involved in the ongoing work of the school. From the beginning, our parents have served as a vital part of the community, making invaluable contributions to its life and work. I never cease to be impressed by their dedicated support as they give so much of their time and talent in so many areas. Many parents have come on staff, served on committees, or on the board. 50 years have passed since the Master's School first opened its doors. And this is a year of celebration. Celebration of all that has happened and of all the people who have been a part of moving us towards where we are today. It is also a time of great excitement and anticipation as we look ahead. Our greatest reason for celebration, however, is to honor the God who has led us step by step and will lead us in the future through the miracle of education from the inside out, in a place which is truly, truly the Master's School.